Lincoln, first of all, how you feeling? And what was kind of the protocols of the start of the week with you communicating with the team and the coaches while being home? And is there a recovery timeline to when you're going to feel fully back to yourself?
Yeah, thanks for asking first, Ron. Yeah, timeline on all. I kind of came under I think last Tuesday maybe. And yeah, kind of pushed through, had a little bit of adrenaline, probably a little bit of adrenaline from the game. And then Sunday didn't go too well. Thought I'd be a little bit better by that point and wasn't. And so yeah, appreciated all the people here, got me seen and taken care of. I think it's the first practices I've missed in 20 years of coaching, which was not very much fun, pretty excruciating just to not be there with the guys and the staff. I was able to interact some with the staff on Monday from home. Kind of limited that day. I was able to do a little bit more Tuesday from home again with them. But yeah, I mean, Coach Simmons took over the head coaching aspects, and then offensively, guys kind of pulled together and took on an equal share. And guys, staff, everybody did a great job of just kind of business as normal. And so it was great to get back out there yesterday. Missed being on the field with the guys. And yeah, I'm definitely a lot better than I was. But just kind of a slow process working your way back. I've never had something like this before, so I'm kind of learning a little bit as I go. But it was good to get the days. As much as I didn't want to do it, I my body needed them, and the doctors and especially Caitlin really didn't give me a choice, which was good. And so I'm better. Glad we're not playing today. Glad I got still a little bit more time, but much better. And yeah, I've made some big improvements here in the last 24 hours, and hopefully I can keep making those jumps here leading into Saturday.
Pneumonia is a very serious thing. Do you expect it to linger for a while? And how does it limit you, I guess, moving forward?
Yeah, like I said, kind of learning about it. I've never had it before. Just right now, just kind of energy level. Kind of energy level probably varies a little bit right now, and I can't really yell, which maybe the players like that. So yeah, communication's a little iffy, but like I said, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm a lot better today than I was yesterday, and I finally just felt like for about 7-8 days there, I didn't really make much progress at all, and in fact, kind of started going the other direction. So it feels good to finally make some progress. So yeah, if I'm limited in any way, we'll have plans in place and ready, but definitely gonna do my best to be ready to do my part for the team come Saturday.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Luca?
First of all, glad to hear you're feeling better. Just on that note, firstly, then follow up, but I know obviously you're a competitive guy, and just to be away from practice for a couple of days right now, I'm sure that wasn't easy, like you said. What was just a balance of, trying to preserve your health a little bit right now, and also knowing that this is a tough stretch for you guys and wanting to be there, be out there with them.
Yeah, it's just it was a balance. I mean, I don't know, I probably didn't balance it very well last week's probably why I wasn't doing too good after. Just kind of and I don't know if I had it to do over again, competitively, I'm stubborn. I'd probably do the same thing, which is not proud to admit, but last week kind of felt like I was in one of those positions where it's like, do you take away from the prep, or do you do what you probably should do for your body? And I chose A and paid for it obviously early this week. So, but it's hard not to, man. I'm very invested in this team and this program, and want to win badly and want to do everything I can do to help these players and coaches and yeah, I mean, it's been at the forefront of our minds with with everything with Dave, and not that this is anywhere near this serious. Obviously, it's not. But you get in that conflict sometimes, and like I said, first time in 20 years that I've missed practices, and there's a lot of other coaches that have gone much longer than that, with probably never missing a day, and that's it's a tough position, man, because like I said, we are, like you said, we're competitive and we want to win and do our best, but I'm thankful we got some people that here that looked out for me and appreciative of that, and hopefully I get to feeling better.
Wanted to ask too quick if you guys, it looked like for the first time, I think we're at least that we've seen this year, we're utilizing kind of a screen in front of play calling on Saturday, or it looks like there was a white kind of canvas in front of you. Did that have anything to do with what's going on with Michigan right now? Just what was the kind of the reasoning behind that?
No, nothing with Michigan. I mean, I know that's getting a lot of attention right now, but that's that kind of stuff's been going on for forever. Happened to us at when I was at Oklahoma. It's part of it. Like everybody said, it's a remarkably easy fix that is amazing. We haven't gotten there to this point yet, but that kind of stuff's been going out forever. Now I don't know the extent of sending people to games and stuff. That one's far out there a little bit, but yeah, just opponent we've played against multiple times, and opponent that we know likes to does a good job of trying to grab signals. So yeah, just a way to try to protect a few of the things that we do.
Ryan Carchi.
Hey, Lincoln. Glad to hear you're feeling better. I know you said Saturday night that, you talked a little bit about the team just sort of dealing with the weight of expectations coming into this second year. I know you're talking about the team generally, but I wonder specifically with Caleb. I know, obviously no one on the team came into this season with expectations quite like him. I guess I just wonder, especially as things have gotten a little harder these last 2 weeks and you guys have been in that hole that you talked about digging out of, how you've seen Caleb just kind of react to all of that pressure around him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's kind of like I told you guys before the season. You don't necessarily know what all the challenges are going to be. You just know they're going to be there, and they're probably going to be different than what you've experienced before, right? Like that's why you build yourself up to be as ready for those challenges as you can. And yeah, he's obviously he's faced some challenges just like all of us have, and I think he's learning from it, continuing to grow. He's I thought was in a good frame of mind Saturday. Played much better than he did the week before, and gave us some opportunities, and I thought mentally really stayed into it. There's certainly a few things that he'd love to have back over the last few weeks, like all of us have, and that's been it's such a fine line in this game. I mean, Eric Gentry's finger goes up another quarter of an inch, then we're all sitting here feeling a lot different right now. And I mean, that you could have played all other 100 and something snaps of the game the exact same way and feel totally different. And honestly, even going back to Notre Dame, I felt like a lot of times there in the third and fourth quarter, we were like one of those plays away too from being right there as well. And so, and that's a fine line. And and so I think for Caleb, it's been a test of patience and having to hang in there, like I think it has been for a lot of our program right now. And he's in a good headspace. He wants to lead these guys. He wants to play better. He wants to win, obviously, like we all do. And so he's he's very motivated to lead and to play very well here in this closing stretch. And we do kind of feel like we're a group that's maybe one little spark away from really taking off, and we got to go do it. We got to make that happen. Thought we were pretty close to making it happen the other night, but I think he's still very engaged, still wants to win very badly, and wants to improve and do as much as he can for the team, just like all the other guys. And so, but yeah, it's been a lot for him. I mean, it is this day and age. You win a Heisman, you have all those, all that stuff going on the outside. It is a new challenge, and he's, I think, handled a lot of it well. But I also think a lot of it is him continuing to grow and learn and kind of take it all in. And but he's actively doing that and actively seeking out any way he can to get better and help this team.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
RJ?
Hey, Lincoln, Josh Henson said last week that Alani Noah had kind of been dealing with maybe more than his fair share of adversity over the course of this season. Can you just track his season to this point, and maybe what are the hopes and expectations for him over these last 4 games?
Yeah, obviously, started for us there in the beginning of the year. I thought I was playing at a really high level. We had a couple of personal things come up that like we all do from time to time, that he had to deal with, and especially for a young freshman, it's a lot. And so I thought there was a little bit of a period of time where he fell off a little bit in dealing with those things, which were totally understandable. And yeah, I feel like he's starting to come back on. He's had a good couple of weeks in a row, I think, very close to starting to work himself back into playing snaps for us. Kind of confidence is back, flying around. He's he's kind of back on track to where we discussed early in the year. So I've been really pleased with him. And yeah, he's absolutely got a chance to help this football team here in this closing stretch.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jack?
Hey, Lincoln, glad you're doing better. Good to have you back. I'm curious, and I know it's tough to miss practice and be outside of the office. Were there any positives that came out of the different perspective that you had for the first couple of days? I know during the bye week, you guys can self-scout. Was it different, being at home and having a different lens into the first couple of days of the week that you came away with the small positives?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, probably so. I mean, I think it was obviously not how you plan it, but maybe a good little quick, mental reset a little bit. It's, I think, good for the. I think it's probably in some ways probably good for the staff too, to kind of have to rally and make some of those adjustments, and the team to do that as well. And I thought they all did it at a very high level. And yeah, to be able to sit back and kind of watch practice with not, being there barking out orders or having a ton of responsibility was kind of good, just to see kind of the response of the team. Good to have some time to look into what we've been doing, what's worked, what hasn't worked. And yeah, it was kind of just a quick reset for me. So yeah, I do think there were some positives, and I don't know, probably more than anything, just like I said, you miss that time and you're not there with the guys, man. You appreciate getting back and being able to be back out there and just go back to work and try to dig our way out of this thing together. And that's one of the most fun things to do in sports and in anything team wise, is when you've had some adversity, is can you really pull together and fight your way through it. And so I feel like our response as a program has been that over the last several days, our coaches and players, and excited to get a chance to go put that on display this weekend.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Shotgun?
Hey, Lincoln, it seems like there's been something kind of missing to galvanize this group so that it can play to its full potential. Is that something you can create as a coaching staff, or is that something that just has to happen organically with the players?
Well, I mean, listen, winning is the ultimate thing that does that. Again, get one of those 2-point conversions, or make a stop there, don't get the penalty at the end or block a kick or something like that, and then you got your spark. So we put ourselves in position for it. It'll be interesting as this thing unfolds. I mean, I think we, as I've watched it, early on, I thought we, did some good things early on as a team, kind of in the middle stretch, even when we were winning games. I don't think we, I think we let some of the appreciation and fun out of winning get away there in the middle, which is, I've seen that happen before, especially you're especially susceptible to it in high level programs like this. And that's not a positive thing. And again, I know I kind of referenced it after the game the other night. When you let the outside, start determining, expectations or how you feel about a performance or a game, it's a dangerous thing, because the outside is always going to have extremes, right? The outside's either going to be, oh my God, this is the greatest team in the history of organized football, or oh my God, this is the worst team we've ever seen. And rarely there's not much in between. And that's the nature of it. You when you're at high level programs like this, it's part of what whatever there is 6 or 7 of us in the country deal with. And that's okay. But you have to learn to handle it. And so I think as a team now, I mean, that's kind of the big question is, how do you create that, right? That little spark, that thing that really gets you going. And I think, in my career, this is not a magic speech. This is not this is not the Hollywood movies where there's that like one moment. Like you gotta go roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty and go to work, and you got to stay together, and you got to keep persevering. And typically if you do that and you keep getting better, the results that you want will come. And then the momentum off of, all right, we had a tough stretch, we haven't played to the way we think we can play, and you persevere and you overcome it. The energy and the excitement and the camaraderie that comes from that is so powerful. And that's the opportunity we got right now, but we got to go take advantage of it, because if we can do that and get on a run, we still got a lot of stuff in front of us, man. I'm telling you, there's so much parity in college ball right now. You see that all across the country, whether it's teams that have gotten beat or teams that have been pushed right there to the brink. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen here over these next several weeks, and a lot of things that are going to surprise a lot of people. And so we got to handle our own here, and go find a way to go up here north and get a win, get some momentum going, and then we could be a pretty dangerous team down the stretch if we can find that. But that's our challenge. And how do you do it? First things, you got to bind together, roll up your sleeves, and go get it done. That's the chance we got right now.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to wrap it up with 2 final ones. Antonio?
Hey, Lincoln, this is a bit on recruiting. Obviously, the years before you got here, the program's brand had taken some hits on the recruiting trail. Where's that now? Obviously, it can't be rebuilt overnight, but where is that now in terms of like where you want it to be? Can it get better? Has it been tougher than you thought? Just where do you think things are locally recruiting wise?
You got locally or just in general?
Locally.
No, I don't think it's been tougher than what I expected. I mean, there's 2 parts of it. I mean, you knew you were rebuilding something. I mean, somebody told me the other day, it's kind of interesting. I think this is right. I'm sure you'll fact check me, but in the last 15 years of USC football, there's been a better record through 8 games than where we currently sit, 6-2, only one time, which is last year, which is amazing. There is this is not there's definitely, I think, a rebuild, and I think there is a process that we're right in the middle of and have made, like I said the other night, I think we've made great progress on, but we still clearly have a lot of work to do. We know that and embrace that and expected that, and that's part of it. The brand though, and the USC degree, what it means, how much people watch it, how much people care about it, is still incredibly high. And as far as recruiting, whether it be national or local, I mean, to me, it's kind of all in the same. It's how do you build the best roster you can of the guys that are available to go recruit? Because at the end of the day, if you go win the national championship and you have a roster mixed from all over the country, nobody's going to say, oh, well, that's great. You won the national championship, but you don't have a bunch of, you don't have 80% local guys. The flip side is if you don't have a good year, they're not going to say, well, at least he has a bunch of California kids on his team. I mean, it's, you clearly have to do a great job locally. But like I told you guys when I got here, it's about getting the right guys. And it's about, I think in my evaluation of the program, when we got here and started looking at the roster, I think there was a lot of players from the state of California that, in my opinion, should not be on the USC roster for one reason or another. And so hiding behind the curtain of, well, at least we're recruiting California kids, I don't think does the program any good. We want to get California kids. We want to get local kids. We want them to be the right kids, the right kind of kids, right kind of students, right kind of players that fit within what we're building, not ones that go against the grain of what we're building. And so, yeah, no, I think the brand is there. I think as we continue to have success, you feel these shock waves of success typically a little bit after. It's not always, and we've had a good uptick in recruiting, but I mean, it's not always immediate. Those things kind of happen as you go, because it's you think about the senior in high school that's, seen, he's experienced, 4 and 8, and he's experienced, the kind of a little bit of a resurgence. He's seen a little bit of both. Whereas the kid that's the freshman in high school, the sophomore in high school right now, hopefully all his memories of USC as he comes up are all positive, and he's seen winning, and he's seen big games, and he's seen, nationally relevant games, and the Coliseum full, and the guys winning awards, and kind of what USC football should be. And I know a long-winded answer, but I think I think the recruiting has been as expected, and I think as we continue to have success, I think as we get this facility built, which is severely needed, obviously, and we continue to trend, I think it's going to but we get into the Big Ten. I mean, I think all those things are just going to continue to make it better and better. So I don't think you start winning to the level that we have and change it without that. And I think we're still, the exciting thing here is I still think we're on the beginning stages of this, from a recruiting standpoint, and what it can be, and that's what's fun. So I think we can go toe to toe with anybody right now, and I don't even think we're at our best yet. I think when we get our best, we're gonna be pretty tough to beat.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And then our final question will be from Tukney.
Hey, Lincoln, good to see you back. Marshawn had that fumble that was obviously very costly in the third quarter, but he was running the ball very well before. So how do you, as a play caller, kind of balance wanting to call his number, make sure he can get in the groove, but making sure that the running game can protect the ball, which is obviously priority number one? Yeah,
and I think I was probably a little gun shy coming off the Notre Dame deal when you have a crazy turnover game like we'd had the week before. There was such an emphasis, especially with the quality of team that Utah has, on hanging on to the football. And you're right, that was an expensive play. Certainly in the game, it could argue maybe the way we were driving may ended up being a 14-point play. But Marshawn has done a lot of really good things, and he's run the ball well. he's getting better weekly. I think he's starting to get in sync with this new offensive line lineup that we worked with last week that we were overall pretty pleased with. And so he's one of our guys, and he's been an effective runner, and he's got to hang on to it. He knows that, but he will. He's been a good player, and I think he's primed up for a pretty good run here to finish the season. So yeah, we gotta hold on to it, but we also, we're starting to feel like we're starting to click in a little bit in the run game. I'm excited about where we're headed there, and obviously that's going to be really important. Always is in November ball. So yeah, I got to do a better job with that. We got to hang on to it, and he will, and I will both.